One. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to the Srimad Bhagavatam call. Today we are very fortunate. We have Her Grace VanaMalini Manjari Dasi Mataji. And today Mataji is going to enlighten us from Srimad Bhagavatam, verse numbers Canto 7, Chapter 2, and verse 58 onwards. Hare Krishna Mataji, you may take over the call when you are ready.
Hare Krishna. My Dandavat Pranam to all the devotees assembled on the call. Hearing Srimad Bhagavatam is the most efficient cleansing process that we can do to us. And increase our attraction and affection in chanting the holy names of the Lord with love and affection towards the Lord. So we are all very fortunate to have that opportunity every day, and those of us who do that regularly becomes Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam means 24/7 all the day, but we are all busy gruhasthas doing various activities for our day-to-day maintenance of this body, relations and everything. But if we are able to do regularly, a regular time, at a regular time, around a regular amount of time regularly, that helps. That helps us a lot. That becomes Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And all of you are practicing devotees. It becomes even more fruitful in the association of devotees. We'll start with Mangalacharan prayer. Om Ajnanati Mirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet. Hare Krishna. Once again, Dandavat Pranams to all the devotees assembled on the call. So we are discussing the most beautiful 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Every canto of Srimad Bhagavatam has beautiful pastimes. So that's why Prabhupada says, do not jump to the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, as many people do who are interested in discussing about the Rasa Leelas of the Gopis. Srila Prabhupada recommends all of us to go and read Srimad Bhagavatam in sequence from 1.1.1 and then reach to the stage of 10th canto where we can understand. Every canto has its own beautiful pastimes which tells. And this pastime, so coincidentally, we are reading now in this month where we are going to celebrate Lord Narasimha's appearance. And then we are reading this canto of Canto 7, which completely is focused on Lord Narasimha's pastimes. So now we all already know this context where what is happening now. Hiranyaksha was killed by Lord Varaha, and that actually brought a lot of grief in the family of Hiranyakasipu. His mother, Hiranyaksha's wives, Hiranyaksha's children, all are grieving the death of Hiranyaksha. And Hiranyakashipu, the brother of Hiranyaksha, comes there and tries to give them some philosophical insight. And in that process, he speaks about King Suyagna, how he has left his body and his wives are all lamenting around him. At that time, Yamadharmaraja, in the form of a small boy, comes and explains to them how temporary is this material body, how everybody will leave. And inside that, he also speaks about the story of the bird who, in the process of protecting the female bird, how the male bird, because of the affection and attachment, gets killed. So this is the conversation now. Yamadharmaraja, as a small boy, is speaking to Suyagna, Suyagna's relatives and family, where Yamaraja describes the killing the birds. Now we are reading the 58th verse. Sri Hiranyakashipuruvacha Bala yevam pravadhati sarve vismitachetasah Jnatayo me nire sarvam anityam ayatothitam. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So in the 57th verse, Yamaraja has already concluded saying that even if you lament for hundreds and hundreds of years, your husband is not going to come alive. That is the nature of this material world. And in the meantime, what will happen? We will die. Sometimes some of us will spend all our day lamenting about the past. Lamenting word, it's not even like feeling sad. Lamenting is like a stage where we are so immersed, feeling sad that we forget everything. So extreme sad. Most of us, of course, when family members leave us, it becomes very, very hard, and we do that, and it requires a lot of our devotional strength to understand and see the things in the right way in this material world. And we are hearing, it looks as if like, oh, we can practice this. It's not a difficult thing. And we will also advise others, why are you not practicing this? You didn't listen this in Srimad Bhagvatam and Bhagavad Gita, that you should not lament, you should not crave for material things, sense gratification, this world is temporary. So very easy to speak philosophy, if we can understand properly. And I mean, first of all, we don't understand, so it's not that easy. But once we understand, giving suggestions to others, speaking philosophy, is very easy when compared to following it. When reality hits us, when we face those situations, and when we are in that situation, when we are undergoing, when we are enduring that pain and all, we don't remember anything. Whatever we have heard, whatever we realized, whatever we have told others to practice, everything disappears from our mind, and we will be immersed in that lamentation. So that's why association of devotees is very, very important for us, because those devotees remind us what we have read, what we have instructed to others, what we need to be practicing, and show us a way when we are immersed in our lamentation in darkness. So here Hiranyakashipu says, well, Yamaraja, in the form of a small boy, was instructing all the relatives surrounding the dead body of Suyagna. Everyone was struck with wonder by his philosophical words. They could understand that everything material is temporary, not continuing to exist. So when Yamaraja, as a little boy, came and spoke to the relatives of Suyagna, they were all wonderstruck. How come a small little boy can understand the reality of material world so much? And they were like, they understood how temporary is this material things, and it is not going to exist whatsoever we do now. So we need to accept the reality. So for all of us also, we postpone so many of our devotional things, saying that now I'm busy with kids, now I am busy with this activity, now I am busy at work in getting promotion, now my children are very small, I need to wait for them to grow and groom them, and then I'll think of chanting, I'll think of devotional service, or I need to get my children married, I need to take care of my grandchildren. So many things actually we show as an excuse, and then we don't do that. We don't keep our practicing devotional service as a priority. But even before we realize, we reach the last minute of our time, and then our time in this material body finishes, and then we don't know what kind of a body we are going to get next, what kind of a situation and circumstances we will be in. So it is very, very important. We need to utilize today very efficiently in serving the lotus feet of Lord and chanting the holy names of the Lord. If we do not spend our time remembering the Lord, chanting the Lord, listening about the Lord, that is actually like we wasted a valuable day and opportunity in the form that we have in the human form of life. We are one step away from our goal as a human being, but none of us keep this as a goal. What are the goals that we have? Getting a good job, getting a good wife, good children, buying $1 million house, buying branded cars, wearing branded clothes. All these are our goals, and we feel very happy and we feel accomplished when we reach all those goals. But the scriptures are not saying human form of life is meant for all those things. Human form of life is meant for elevating our consciousness from body level to our real stage where we are the servants of the Lord. For that, the process for Kali Yuga is chanting the holy names of the Lord. Chanting the holy names of the Lord, chanting the holy names of the Lord. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu quotes the verse from Upanishad, Harinameva Kevalam, Kalo Nastya Nyada. There is no other way in Kali Yuga other than the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So chanting of the holy names of the Lord is so important to realize all these philosophical things. Otherwise, we will be having hundreds of doubts and we don't have faith on what we are reading, what we are understanding. So we should always accompany any service that we are doing with the chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Otherwise, we will get puffed up. If we are somebody who can do a wonderful deity worship and people come and praise us, if we are not grounded, we are not humble enough by chanting the holy names of the Lord, we will start flying. And when we start flying, definitely we are going to fall down, because pride is the one which is making us fly, and pride comes before we fall. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Purport. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 2.18. Antavantai me dehe nityasyokta saririnaha. The body is perishable, but the soul within the body is imperishable. So this is the first instruction we hear in Bhagavad Gita when Arjuna says that, Krishna, I'm not going to fight. These are all my relatives, my uncles, my teachers. They have taught me how to walk. They have taught me how to shoot an arrow. How can I kill them and how can I go to hell? And this is not, I'm not going to do this, Krishna. Then Krishna starts speaking, enlightening Arjuna. And he says, Arjuna, what kind of impurities you have? You are talking on the basis of body. And this body is perishable. This is not going to stay forever. So, antavantai me deha nityasyokta sharirinaha. This body is perishable. Anybody's body is perishable. Even the body of a poor man on the street who is not able to provide all the means, or a man in a $1 million house and in $1 million energy, he has all kind of facilities to maintain that body. He has all kinds of foodstuff to eat, but still it is perishable. You buy any kind of refrigerator, you cannot keep a vegetable fresh forever. It was not going to happen. So the same is the nature of the material body. We cannot keep it alive forever. And we will be thinking, we will be attending funerals of everybody around us, and we'll think that that day never comes to us. I will live forever. This is the biggest illusion and misconception a living entity in the form of inhuman body thinks. Therefore, the duty of those advanced in knowledge in human society is to study the constitutional position of the imperishable soul and not waste the valuable time of human life in merely maintaining the body and not considering life's real responsibility. So, anything that we see in the material world is a combination of matter and spirit. Even we are a combination of matter and spirit. We are spirit souls, and the body that we are carrying is made of matter. 5 elements: earth, water, ether, air, and fire. This is what our body is made of. And this is perishable. Inside this is the imperishable soul. So anyone who is advanced in knowledge, anybody who thinks that, oh, I'm a scholarly person, I'm the most learned person in this world, should know this fact that he is the spirit soul and he is wearing a material body as a dress which is going to perish one day, and activities and duties and karmas that he is doing at the body level are going to end up and result in only misery. If he understands his real position, his real identity as the servant of the Supreme Lord, and he understands the real responsibility that I have to re-establish my connection with the Lord. But what we do all the time, being a good mother, good husband, good brother, good sister, good employer, good daughter, good son, all these things we give so much importance that we forget our real identity, that I am a servant of the Lord, not servant of all these things. All these things should be, we have to maintain, but we get caught up in that. We get caught up. We don't just do them mere as a responsibility. We do with a lot of expectations. Like, oh, I took care of this person, he has to now take care of me. I loved him, so he has to love me now. I am providing, they have to provide me. And anything changes in this equation disturbs our whole day. And we waste our day in thinking about the temporary problems of the world. Most of the time, we don't see the problems in the right way. And we think after doing what we can do, we waste all the time in thinking what we cannot do. Most of the times, like if we have a solution within our hands, we should work on that solution. If there is any difficulty in working on that solution, we should do only whatever we can. Obviously, we cannot do whatever we cannot. And when there is a lot of uncertainty and whatever we cannot do, we should leave it there and we should not waste our valuable time. So Prabhupada is writing here, not waste the valuable time of human life in merely maintaining the body and not considering life's real responsibility. So all the time we waste in maintaining this body and these bodily related relationships, family, friends, everything, but not actually the real responsibility. Every human being should try to understand how the spirit soul can be happy and where can he attain an eternal blissful life of knowledge. Human beings are meant to study those subject matters, not to be absorbed in caring for the temporary body, which is sure to change. So we should not be absorbed a lot in maintaining this temporary body. Most of the time, after working for our needs, 50% of time we work for our needs and 50% of time we work for our wants. This is not mentioned anywhere. I'm just giving for the sake of example. These percentages are different. Some people may be working 100% for maintaining their needs only, because there are so many poor people in this world who don't get anything until they work their whole day, do a hard labor. They may be able to provide something for their family. And again, there are, on the other side, there may be people who are extremely rich, who don't need to spend any time on maintaining their body, but still they are engrossed in material sense gratification. They don't realize the real responsibility as a human life. So most of the time, we spend our time on unnecessary material sense gratification. This is the harsh reality. We don't realize that. We don't feel the importance of the human form of life, because we think we are under illusion for so many lifetimes. We think that the success of human form of life is having a good house, rich house, good children, good wife, good husband. Even generally, when you see the people discuss, oh, he is very successful, he earns this much, his children are very good, they go to good universities. So these are the parameters that we use to describe a success in human form of life. That itself shows that they are not really in knowledge. Whoever is learned and knowledgeable person will say that, oh, he spends all of his time in serving the Lord, chanting the holy names of the Lord, doing any kind of distribution, any other kind of service to the Lord. He has packed his day with that, and he is really, really successful as a human. Very rarely we find people like that. So it is the real responsibility of human form of life is to know what gives us, what makes us eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. Sat, Chit, Ananda. That is the nature of the soul. So we should be knowing what actually makes us Sat, eternal always, so that we don't have a fear of death. We don't have fear of losing our material comfort and all. Because we live eternally, and then blissful, always happy, and then full of knowledge. What kind of a knowledge? Knowing the real responsibility of the human form of life. That is that kind of a knowledge. Not like I'm able to speak. Some people are like so knowledgeable. People say, oh, he's so knowledgeable. Any topic you say, he will discuss. But all those topics are related to the material things. They are not anywhere related to the spiritual things. So those people are not considered as knowledgeable. However big university they may have studied, however big company they may be maintaining, if they don't know that they are the spirit soul, and the body is perishable and it is going to leave one day, and the real responsibility as a human being is to reconnect ourselves with the Lord. If they don't know that, they are not knowledgeable. Human beings are meant to study the subject matters, not to be absorbed in caring for the temporary body, which is sure to change. No one knows whether he will receive a human body again. So this is the danger. This is the danger that we have. People who are engrossed in material sense gratification all the time and spending their time in eating, mating, defending, and sleeping. If we are spending all the time on these four things and in material sense gratification only, guaranteed that we will not have a human form of life. So Prabhupada says, Nahi na Bikramanasosti. There is no loss in this process. In Buddhi Yoga, in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, those who take to the path of Krishna consciousness, those who take up the path of devotional service to the Lord, who are doing a baby steps in Krishna consciousness also, it's okay. We don't need to be the day one we started. We don't need to be somebody day two where we forget everything material. We are completely detached. That won't happen unless we are at that stage in our devotional service. Like in our previous lives, we have completed 99.9% and now only 1% is left. it may not happen to everybody. So the general understanding is that the change won't happen overnight, because the impressions and the vasanas that we have did not come overnight. They have been there with us for millions and millions of births and lifetimes, not days, not months, lives. So we have taken millions of births before, where we only did, where we have spent a lot of time in material sense gratification. And with Krishna's mercy or a devotee's mercy, the seed of devotion has been sowed in us. And now what is our responsibility? To grow that seed into a big tree and go back to Krishna. So no one knows whether he will receive a human body again. This is the danger that we have. Even if we get human body, we don't know the circumstances. Now itself, the attractions in the material world are so strong that we have so many distractions in practicing the devotional service to the Lord. Even though we are in our own house practicing, not interacting with materially oriented people, somehow or the other, the material things come to us through our phone. The biggest danger that we are carrying in our hands these days is our phone. Everybody thinks they are smart by having a latest smartphone. My phone can do this, my phone can do that, my phone is this, my phone is that. Everybody is like so much obsessed about their phones, keep changing every 2 years, every 1 year, talking about that, and think that we are having smartphones, but we are becoming very, very less intelligent and more or less foolish people. Because the more smarter our phone is becoming, the more foolish we are becoming, because we are becoming so lazy. We are doing everything in that phone. We don't need to go to a computer. We don't need to go to put few steps and go to somewhere to do the things. Everything we are doing online. Shopping, bank works, whatever it is done in your phone. And then you can just sit in your couch from morning to evening, and you don't even know where the time went if you start browsing the things in the phone. Gone. One beautiful, valuable day is just put in ashes. That dangerous it is. So nobody knows. The danger is that we don't know whether we'll get a human form. And the second danger is, even if you get a human form, we don't know how the circumstances will be, how the Kali Yuga is going to progress. And in those circumstances, to practice devotional service becomes very, very difficult, very, very challenging. Because in that kind of a distractive, materially attractive world, very difficult to get detachment. So now, today is ours. This life is ours. We just have to have faith in the instructions of Krishna, Guru, and sadhus, and realize that taking our Krishna consciousness seriously is the only way to become eternal, blissful, and knowledge. And we will be millions and millions type of happy than what we are right now. That conviction, that faith, that determination should be there in us. There is no guarantee, for according to one's work, one may get any body, from that of a demigod to that of a dog. So there is no guarantee that we will get only human form of life. Sometime, I don't know when, in my childhood, even before I come to Krishna consciousness, I was attending a funeral, and then we were sitting there, and then all the ladies were talking. And then in that, one lady immediately conceived. So they said that, oh, whoever has died is going to be born to you now. So I was like, oh, humans are born. If you die as a human, you will be born as a human. And there is also one school of philosophy which tells that whoever dies as humans will be born as a humans. Whatever body you die, you'll get that body. But scriptures are not saying like that. Scriptures are not saying like that. Scriptures are saying you may get any body, from Devi Devatas to the least, the worm in the stools, the worm in the toilets, you may get that. The range is 8.4 million species. 8.4 million. We can fall in anywhere in this spectrum. And who decides that? Which kind of a body we are going to get? We are deciding that. Krishna is not forcing us. Krishna is not deciding for us. We are forcing ourselves into those bodies. How we are forcing ourselves into those bodies? By the actions that we are doing today. Not like by the actions that we are doing now, we are deciding our future. We are actually thinking that I am enjoying this body, I'm spending my time happily, spending my money happily and enjoying, but little we are knowing that we are already making a blueprint for our next body. So the actions that we are doing right now are deciding what kind of a body we are going to get next. So it's very, very important. Doing the actions, at least in mode of goodness, is very important. Mode of goodness, what will be the nature of the actions? We will think and act. Passion, act and think later. Ignorance, no thinking and no action most of the times. So at least we should bring ourselves into the mode of goodness, and from there we should transcendent even the mode of goodness, and we should come to a stage where we will do anything and everything for the pleasure of the Lord. Anyabhilashita sunyam. We don't do anything which will take us away from the Lord. Period. We are not going, even with devotees. Some people are so smart, they think that, oh, we are in the association of devotees, we are safe. But what we are doing in the association of devotees, we are not planning how we are going to chant, how we are going to attend classes, how we are going to do the Bhagavatam self-study or all those things. What we do, oh, Prabhuji and Mataji, do take this policy, you can earn a lot. Prabhuji and Mataji, this car is so good. Why don't you buy next this car? Prabhuji and Mataji, this house is so good. I'm going there. You also come there. We can enjoy in that state more. We can enjoy in that. So we are bringing our material consumption also in the association of devotees, and we are contaminating even that. Other than the needful discussions, the thing that we have to discuss among the devotees is how we are going to enhance and cultivate a higher consciousness. Prabhuji, Mataji, I'm not able to chant properly. I'm not able to give up this addiction. I am not able to develop detachment to this. How do I do that? How do I love Krishna even more? How do I even chant more? How do I understand the scriptures more? How do I increase my taste in listening to the Krishna Katha more? These are the topics that could be discussed in the association of devotees. These are the topics that we should be focusing. So we can get anybody from Devi Devata to a dog. In this regard, Srila Madhvacharya comments, Aham mama bhimanadi tvayatottam anityakam mahadadiyatottam cha nityachapi yatotita asvattantraiva prakrutihi swatantro nitya eva cha yatartha bhutascha para Ekayeva Janardhana. Only Janardhana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is ever existing, but his creation, the material world, is temporary. Krishna exists ever, forever, but the creation that he has done, this material world, the whole, the innumerable universes Krishna is creating, are all temporary. Therefore, everyone who is captivated by the material energy and absorbed in thinking I am this body and everything belonging to this body is mine is in an illusion. This universe itself is temporary. Then what is permanent? Our body, our house, our thing? These are not permanent. When we see in this magnitude, in this relation, in this comparison, the whole universe is temporary. What if I don't have $1 million house? If I have a $10, $100K house or $1 million house, I am going to die. I'm not going to live forever to enjoy the things. Then why do I extra work every day to buy that kind of a thing? The more we put burden on our material desires, you have to work more. When you are working more, where are you taking that time out? You are taking that time out in fulfilling your real life responsibility, that is serving the Lord, and you are putting it in serving the temporary material body, which is going to perish one day. Let's say I spent whole my lifetime, this life, in building $1 million house. Will Krishna make me live 100 more million years in that house, in that body? No. We are going to live and we are going to go. And for this sake, for this temporary not understanding and realizing this temporary nature of this material world and material pleasures, we waste the valuable time that we got as a human form, in the human form, to fulfill our real life responsibility as the servant of the Lord. So the only designation which is permanent, which is true, which is always, is that we are the servants of the Lord. We are not servants of our family. We are not servants of the job that we are doing. We are not servants of the country. We are not servants of anybody. Those are all temporary. The real servant is, we are servants of the Lord. So we need to remember that, and we need to do that duty, that responsibility, first thing in the day, and the most important thing in the day, the most priority in the day. So if we are not able to fulfill our real life responsibility as the servant of the Lord, as the servant of the Lord, we have to introspect our day. Where is my day going? Why I am not getting time to chant? Why I am not getting time to read the scriptures? Why I am not getting any time to render service to the Lord? Where I am spending this time? Am I spending in earning money? Am I spending in enjoying by watching TV and all those things? Am I spending in gossiping around? Where am I spending all those things? And what kind of happiness I am deriving in spending time there? Is that happiness eternal? Is that happiness permanent? Is that activity going to give me happiness forever? Or where should I spend? Scriptures are saying I have to spend time as an eternal servant of the Lord, but I don't have attraction to that yet. But still, I'm going to go and do that, because that is what is real. That is what is permanent. That is what is going to purify me. Right now, I am in a diseased state. Somebody is giving me gulab jamun. So I'm not going to take the example of gulab jamun. The other day when we were discussing the second chapter, I was talking about gulab jamun a lot. And one Mataji said to Mataji, now I lost all the interest in eating gulab jamun. So let me not talk about that. But like, we need to when we are sick and we have jaundice, our tongue is so bitter. Even somebody gives us sugar, we won't be able to taste that. We will say that, oh, this is bitter, I don't want this, take this away from me, because we are sick. And once we take medicine, and even medicine will be bitter. So we should not say that, no, I don't want medicine. We take medicine, and then when we get purified, when we get cleared of the disease, we will taste the things as they are. So right now, Krishna Katha is boring, Mataji. Every Damodar month, the same story I heard so many times. Tell something new. Tell something interesting. Or every time the same thing, every time the same mantra, like a broken record, repeating again and again. I want something new. I want something different. And then we think that whatever the material new is going to give us a new happiness. But the real new, fresh, ever happiness comes from associating with Krishna. Only the devotees, pure devotees of the Lord, they get always Navayavana. Experiences with the Lord are always new. The pleasure is new. The experiences of new. Anything in this material world attracts us in the beginning as if it is new. After doing it little bit time, we will get bored of it. We don't derive that same happiness. So everyone who is captivated by the material energy and absorbed in thinking I am this body and everything belongs to this body is mine is in illusion. My house, this house, or my children, And my things, all these mice will go away when we leave this body. Everything becomes somebody else's. Nobody even, like, this is something which we need to know. We hoard our houses with so many things. We put so many things in our houses, where sometimes we don't even have place to go around. And then what happens when we die? Do we all think that our children are going to preserve everything? No, they're going to just throw away, or they're going to sell. So that temporary is our things. So let's not spend a lot of time in accumulating the things. The other day I went to a Mataji's house to drop something, and then I went inside and I was seeing, like, there is no space in the house. There are so much of collection, so many of things. Then we were talking, and then suddenly Mataji said, I started realizing my children don't have time to come and sit and talk to me for 5-10 minutes. They're so busy. What are they going to do to all these things I have left here? So I went because there is a family who left to India and they have so much stuff. So they don't know what to do because they can't take everything with them. So they are distributing. And she said that it took 4 or 5 months for me to discard the things that they have kept. And some of the things they say that, oh, I bought this from here. This is like this. This is I bought on my 10th anniversary or something like that. A memory attached to all of those things. And we get attached to all those things. And we can't give up all those things. And then we feel bad. And then she was telling that, Mataji was telling to me, I started realizing that I should live a minimalistic life. I should live a simple life. The more the things that I'm accumulating, the more I am attached. Nobody is going to care them later, and I'm spending all my time in caring them when I'm alive, to take all of them and throw in the dustbin when I'm not there. And then I'm thinking I should cut down on all these things and live a minimalistic life. So we should all focus on simple living, but the thinking should be high. Our consciousness should be high. Our goal should be so high that we want to reach Golok Vrindavan, not anywhere in the material ladder to become Indra, Chandra, to Swarga or anything. Straight to Golok Vrindavan. That should be our goal. Our goal should be that high that we are going to reach Krishna. So one should think of being eternally a part of Janardana, and one's endeavor in this material world, especially in this human form life, should be to attain the association of Janardana by going back home, back to Godhead. So that should be our goal. Going back to Godhead is our goal. Then we are the richest person. We are the happiest person, and we are the long-lived person in this world when we can do that, when we can attain that goal, when we keep that as our goal. So what we keep as our goal is very, very important. All of us will have temporary material goals. We cannot completely get rid of that. But those temporary material goals should be needs of the life, but not the wants of the life. Wants are never going to end. Like how a river's water gets into the sea, it's never going to stop. The desires are never going to stop. Even you go and ask a 90-year-old person, he will have a list of desires that should be fulfilled. So desires are never going to end. Even a person who is the richest man in this world, you go and tell him, do you have any goals? Are you happy? Are you ready to go back, die? No, I'm not ready. Now I am making a $50 billion profit. My goal for next year is to make $100 billion profit. So there is no end for these material goals, material things. So we need to try to attain the association of Janardana, going back to Godhead. And how do we do that? He's so far away. How are we going to reach him? No. He's so close to us. When we realize our real constitutional position, he's inside us as Paramatma, guiding us. So once we surrender to him and chant the holy names of the Lord, serve Guru, serve devotees of the Lord, hear Krishna Katha every day, we can achieve that goal. we can go back to Krishna and see Krishna face to face. Who is the richest person, wealthiest person, famous person in this entire in the entire material realm and also in the spiritual realm, and we are going to go there. So Prabhupada wonderfully says that. So I'll also read 59. It doesn't have a purport, so I'll complete 59. Yama etad upakyaya tatraivantraadhiyata tatraivantaradhiyata gnatyo hi suyagnasya chakruryat samparayikam. After instructing all the foolish relatives of Suyagna, Yamaraja in the form of a boy disappeared from their vision. Then the relatives of King Suyagna performed the ritualistic funeral ceremonies. So Hiranyakashipu is saying, oh, now all the foolish relatives are enlightened. But Hiranyakashipu is in one kind of a foolishness. He does not accept the superiority of the Supreme Lord. So Hiranyakashipu is saying now they are all set. They are all smart, intelligent enough. So they completed the funeral ceremonies. The funeral, childbirth, difficulties are very, very beautiful things in one way, where we remember Krishna, we get a detachment, but it goes away after some time. It won't stay forever. You go and ask any woman who gave birth, they will beat if you talk about another children. They will say like, are you mad? I just went through so much pain. And then again, after a few years, they give birth again. So they say that prasuti vairagya, the vairagya is very temporary. Even when deaths happen, we realize that vairagya is also temporary. So developing vairagya is very difficult in this world. Developing detachment to the things is very difficult. We are like those small children. We like the toy what we are playing with. We don't want to give up that. Unless somebody comes and gives us another attracting toy, we don't drop the toy. So we should not focus on detachment. We should be focusing on attaching ourselves to Krishna. So the more and more we attach ourselves to Krishna, automatically detachment happens. Because our mind cannot focus on both the things. But the more and more we attach to material things, we'll give up Krishna. These two things does not travel in the same boat. People think that, oh, I'll practice Krishna consciousness, but I'll be busy materially also, engage myself in material association, material fun. I'll do both the things. I'll balance. It is not really like we are balancing. We are not purely chanting. Our chanting is also that I should have a better material life. So we should reduce our material desires and attachments to a simple living, and then focus more on Krishna consciousness, focus more on chanting the holy name of the Lord, focus more on attaching ourselves to the Lord in one or the other way. And then we will be achieving the real goal of human form of life, and we will go back to Krishna. 99% of our spiritual life depends on chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So we should keep that as our priority, and we should be chanting with love and affection towards the Lord. I will conclude here. Tomorrow's verse is 16. Any devotees have any questions or comments or add anything or correct, please go ahead, Mataji's and Prabhuji's.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Madanat Pranam to you, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. Thank you so much for the wonderful class. You reawakened us from the bodily concept, by telling us that, if we continue with birth, eating, sleeping, mating, defending, then we're as good as animals only, not doing anything other than this. So many birds and so many animals we see outside, that's what they're doing. And, so we are almost in level with them. So we have to do something extra for Krishna, being the servant of Krishna. So thank you so much. And also, Mataji, like in the paragraph it says about illusion, right? So, and I suddenly, when I was reading that, I remembered, right? It says about illusion. I was just going back on the phone only.
Yeah. It talks about illusion.
I mean, actually, it's giving us a definition of what illusion is. So, Srila Prabhupada had mentioned about the three more things, right? We all are this thing. If you can little bit explain that also, because illusion was the one we make mistakes. We are an illusion, and there were two more. So just that way, I feel we can understand that.
Which two
If
more,
Prabhupada is saying,
Mataji?
our
You are saying
Acharya
in the
is
paragraph, Prabhupada said two more?
no. We know Prabhupada has mentioned, right? There is we make mistakes, we are an illusion, and there were two more.
Oh, you are
If you can
talking about
explain.
the four defects as a human form. That's what.
Yes,
So those
yes,
are
yes.
defects.
Yes.
Those are the four defects
Yeah,
every
because
human.
four defects. If you can add that to also your class, because uh, one is illusion, which is explained in the purport, right?
Yeah, we commit mistakes. As a humans, we all commit mistakes. That's the nature of the conditioned soul. The four defects of the conditioned soul. Soul is actually not conditioned. Soul is free when it realizes its real position, that is as the servant of the Lord. But when will the soul become conditioned? When will we make the air conditioned? When like we use that air conditioned word. Air is conditioned. Air is converted either to become cool, or air is converted either to become hot when it goes through that machine and that system. In the same way, the soul is conditioned to the body it is taking. If it takes a human body, it behaves, it tries to act as a human. So it is limited to that body. Even in human, if it takes a body where it does not have a functioning ear or a eye, it can't hear and see. So the soul actually is eternally blissful, knowledgeable, and eternal. But then it becomes conditioned to the body that it takes. And every conditioned soul has four defects. We commit mistakes. Nobody in this world is perfect. When we understand that this small thing, that everybody commits mistake, our approach towards others changes a lot. Our forgiveness nature increases. Because sometimes we think that we are so perfect, we keep on picking faults in the people, not knowing that we are also committed to do faults. So the first thing is we commit mistakes. The second thing is we are illusion. What kind of an illusion we are? We think that we are this body. That's the biggest and most ignorant illusion. That is the root mother of all the other illusions. Remaining are very temporary illusions, that oh, this phone will give me happiness, this house will give me happiness, this relationship will give me happiness. These are all temporary. The biggest illusion is that we are this body. And we have a tendency to cheat others. We have a tendency to cheat others. Period. All of us have that tendency to cheat in a minute nature. Like some may be very obvious. We have a tendency to cheat others. And then the fourth one is all our senses are imperfect. They're not perfect. Like we can only see with our eyes what is in front of us, and that too only that which is at a distance. If it is far away, we cannot see. We cannot see what is on our back. We can only eat with mouth. So our senses are imperfect. So these are the four defects of any condition. So is that okay, Mataji? Sorry.
Yeah.
If you're talking.
Thank you so much, Mataji, for explaining that. Yeah. And a very, very nice class, very inspiring. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Krishna's mercy, Guru's mercy.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. It was very nice class, very inspiring. Like every time we hear your class, like it's always inspires and finds like how we can correct ourselves and what are the things we should be asking the questions and how we should relate to the devotees and the association of the devotees. It's a wonderful, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu, for your association. You do a wonderful job.
No, Mataji, we're just
Yes.
trying. Mataji, one question I have, like, sometimes, like, we usually have this Bhakti Virikshas and all the association, but over the period, like, when this association happens, like, every week, people take it so granted that, oh, yes, it is just another association that's celebrated as a party or some kind of get together. And
Yeah.
then there is no progress even after 10 years,
Yes.
and then suddenly, like, it is at the point, okay, whether it makes sense to do it, like, every week or
Yeah.
once in a month and do it virtually, because people who host, like, it takes a lot of their time, energy, and everything. So, what's your like, take or recommendation on that thing? Like, when we have these programs running many
Yeah.
years and
Yeah.
still people, you know, do what they want to do over the weekend, and during the prasadam they just want to talk there, only the material things, no outcome of the classes.
No, yeah. See, that is something devotees also think like, oh, I'm in association of devotees, so I am on the safe boat. But we also need to use that discrimination even in the association of devotees. Like, we should not be associating with materially oriented people. That is something we all should remember, because there are in devotees also different gradations. So we should be very careful with whom we are associating. Association is the biggest catalyst for our progress in devotional service. Because since all the devotees, they're all devotees, for sure, they're all Vaishnavas. We should respect all of them. We should be paying homages to all. We should be respecting all of them, obeisances to all of them. But it's not that we should be equally associating with all of them. We need to see with whom we should associate. We have to voluntarily seek that association with those who does not gossip around, who does not talk about material things, who speak about Krishna consciousness things. And we personally, we can't change the world around us, but we personally can minimize those talks. And when somebody comes and sits with us during prasadam or anything, either we can discuss about something that we have listened or read just now in the class, or ask them, how is your spiritual progress going on? When are you chanting? How are you chanting? What kind of a books you have read? Did you read this book? Did you read that book? So in that way, or did you understand this one? What is your take on this pastime? So in this way we should discuss. And when we discuss in this way, when we keep that standard around for the people, when we show that consistency, when people come to us also, they will come with an expectation that this Prabhuji or Mataji are not going to gossip. If we are going to go and talk to them, we have to talk about Krishna. So if we don't have anything to talk about Krishna, they will not come to us, or they will come to us and they have to talk about Krishna. So our consistency is very, very, very important. In that way, first we have to maintain that. And when we do that, and then when we slowly teach others by our actions, others also will follow. And coming to your next question, what should we do with these bhakti vrikshas? See, I'm always very optimistic and positive person with respect to bhakti vrikshas, but it's a very dangerous thing also. Like, in the process of being optimistic and giving more opportunities to people, but after years and years they are not changing, then there is a danger that we may become like them. So we should find a new way. Like, when the same set of people are coming and same set of people are not doing anything, and if we can focus and divert our energy on a place where we can help them grow in spiritual thing, we should do that. We should definitely do that. I have seen devotees doing that. And if we don't have that kind of an opportunity, let's say I'm in a place where I only have to live with this kind of a people and I don't have any other opportunity to serve, then we should do those things with an expectation that I'm purifying myself. I'm doing it for my own purification. The 1 hour katha that we are doing is still going to purify us. Whether we know all those people who are coming there, whether they know or not, whether they have faith or not, how a medicine purifies us, even we don't know what is inside that medicine, what is the combination and what is the formula of that medicine, it is going to purify us. So hearing and speaking about Bhagavatam is going to purify us. We should try as much as not to discuss material things after that, and rather contemplate on the topics of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita that we have heard when we are honoring prasadam also. But if we don't have any other opportunity, we only have this set of people, we should think that I'm doing for my own purification. But if we are a Bhakti Viksha leader, or we are the one who is hosting, then we can set a standard where we are not talking any material things. We should be very strict. Again, it comes with a catch there, that it doesn't mean that when somebody is in trouble, we don't talk. We should help them when they are in trouble, but we should know where to draw the line and not gossip around. And we should set an example by practicing that. And if we have been doing that and people are not changing, not interest, then we can reduce and divert that energy and time and resources on something else where we can progress in Krishna consciousness. There is no wrong in that, because we have to buckle our seat first. Even like how in an airport they say, when you sit in a plane, buckle yourself first and buckle your children. Children are the most, when we are traveling with children, we love our children more. We think that, oh, anything can happen to me, but my children should be safe. But they say you buckle yourself first. So if we don't buckle ourselves first, if we don't guard our spiritual lata, our bija, our bhakti lata bija, we are going to kill our plant, and then we are going to become like them. So if there is no change happening, we can change that resources, energy onto another person. We need to know when to cut off also. We need to develop that detachment. I live in a place where I encounter, and then I stop worrying about the people after telling a couple of times that they have to give their importance to the spiritual life. I develop detachment, and I will not worry, or I will not focus on them, and I will focus on some other people who are showing interest. They may be very good friends to me materially. I help them, I talk to them, and I'm always there to help. I'm always there to help and guide, but I don't spend a lot of time or worry about them a lot. So these are the couple of things I could think of, Prabhu.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. That helps.
Any more questions or comments, Prabhuji and Matishis? Otherwise, we can conclude.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, Vishnu Prabhupada Guru Maharaj. Such a beautiful class, Mataji. Every time, very powerful class, and giving so many practical examples and how can we improve in our day-to-day life. And you explained very nicely about how should we keep high thinking, and our goal should be to Golok Vrindavan, not any Swarga, Indra, Chandra. So that sentence was very powerful. So thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Guru's
Hare
mercy.
Krishna Mataji, thank you very much for a very, very inspiring and class to help us focus more.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you all so much. Maybe we can conclude here. hoping all of us chant wonderfully. Pancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah.